I'm going to do this video, and I'm probably going to get hate for saying how I feel about this. And this is something that I genuinely personally feel. And I think most Alita fans will understand, but a lot of them won't. Because they'll probably see me as, oh, you're just hating on James Cameron after that one movie. Yeah, I do. And plus, he hasn't done a movie in a long ass time, so it makes me even worry about what he's going to do with Alita's sequels. So let's get into it. Okay. Everyone is saying, will James Cameron and Disney will work together? In my opinion, it's 50-50 that will work. And I mean is, we'll talk about that if Avatar 2 is a major hit. If Avatar 2 isn't as successful like the first movie did, then it's game over for Alita. Disney won't care about Alita. And I guarantee you, James Cameron is not going to do Alita sequel. I just don't believe him. And now you could say all you want. Oh, he'll go to Sony. He'll go to whatever other studio. Yeah, right. I don't believe him. I just don't. If he did want to do a sequel, we would start production right now. We would start talking about it. But ever since, hell, look at Bumblebee, for example. Bumblebee was the lowest, highest grossing film of the entire Transformers franchise. But yet, they're going to do a sequel to that film. You see where I'm coming from? Another thing that I'm extremely worried on Alita is Disney would want to just say, you know, James, we love you. And let's say they do this. And this is another thing that I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit through another movie of this shit again. And that is, they would want to do the same movie again. I don't want that. I said that shit twice. I saw it in animated format, and I saw it on a live action format. I don't need another movie on the same story of the first film. I just don't. No way. I really won't. I just don't want that movie. And I fear Disney would rather have that because they would have it where, okay, both James Cameron and Disney have finally worked together, and they're going to do the same movie that we did before on last year's film. And that just would piss me off. I mean, seriously, that would just piss me off because that would just be not only more confirming of James Cameron is a sellout, and he is, but yet again, it would just more proven that more. But yet again, there's that third option where nothing happens. Alita's film becomes a cult classic, and the rest is history. There is no animated series. There is no sequel. Nothing happens. And that will piss me off. And I don't know what I would say anymore. I would hate James Cameron till the day I die. And I'll just be furious. I really would be. You know, I really love Alita. I love her story. You know, I would rather have an animated series, if you ask me. But if we're going to do a live-action movie on her, I would want to have her entire story be done justice. But yet again, I don't even know they're going to do it. And also, I hear another discussion on will they just decide to just split it into a 6-episode or 8-episode series for Disney Plus. It's possible, but I don't know why would they do that. Yet again, they could, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Granted, they could now. Actually, come to think of it, they could do that because if they rival Netflix, because Netflix is doing a One Piece live action series, they could do that. But yet again, that's up to James Cameron. Will he do it? Will he commit on doing that? A lot of things unknown. And, I mean, I'm scared on Avatar, if you ask me. Avatar is oh god, it's going to be the nail cross. If that movie isn't making records, like breaking records on box office, ooh, we're screwed. And that's going to piss off a lot of Alita fans, including me. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to hate James Cameron forever if he did that. If his new movie, Avatar 2, which he's been hyping up for so many fucking years, and it turns out to be a pile of dog shit, I'm going to look at him like, you've been talking about this movie for 2 decades. 2 decades. And all of a sudden, this movie is a pile of dog shit? I would be angry. I would be pissed off. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, you know, I love Alita. I really do. I think it's a very interesting universe. And, you know, I think they could have done a Harry Potter saga on her and going more in depth with her story and seeing her story come to life was like, oh god, it was heaven. Just heaven, if you ask me. And, you know, it was my number 1 movie of the year for me because I've been waiting for this film since I was a young teenager. And I wanted that movie. I wanted that movie so bad. And I'm happy that was a good movie. And it was successful. It did break even. But, you know, the biggest scaring part is, will there be a sequel? Will there be this? Will there be that? And there's so many let's just say, extremely worried. Oh god, no, please don't do that shit. I will swear to god, I will never support you. And so much concerns and worries that I don't know what to say. It almost makes me not want to see it, if you get what I mean. And, you know, sometimes politics in studios on how movies should be made takes a lot of the excitement away. It kind of, what's the word? It reminds me on how I feel about the Spider-Man treatment. You know, I want Spider-Man to have, like, the Harry Potter scenario where we have like 10 movies about Peter Parker. We have like 4 or 5 movies on his kid years, or should I say his teenager years, and then his adult years, then his marriage years, and then later on he passes the torch to Miles and go forward and gets married, and the rest is history after that. But yet again, that ain't gonna happen because Disney and Sony can't work a deal, can't coexist with one another to make fucking good movies because they got their egos so fucking head of their asses so far. I mean, I'd rather just fucking say fuck all of you guys. And that's how I feel with Alita's sequels. I mean, I personally feel that, there's so many restrictions, so many worries. I mean, it takes me out of the excitement on her sequel. And I want her sequel to be successful. But yet again, we don't have the sequel planned. There are talks, but there no movement. And plus, there's no anime series. I mean, I will still argue with a lot of fans, wouldn't you rather have an animated series just to be safe because of, let's say, a disappointment happens on a live action film. And, it may seem like selfish to an extent, but I mean, come on. We don't know if the studio wants to do another movie on Alita and it just goes forward. I mean, that's the problem. We don't know if Disney is committed to do Alita. They're committed to do Avatar. They're committed to do Alien, Planet of the Apes, Predator. They're all in on that, but they don't really have any talks on them doing Alita sequel. Now, granted, we could try our best all we want, but it's up to the studio that is committed to do the film. If they don't, then all our sacrifices, all our hopes and dreams to see a continuation was for nothing. And that's, again, we need to tend to look at. Yet again, I don't know. I could be straight out wrong. Disney and James Cameron are probably in talks and go forward. But yet again, I just don't see Disney doing it. I just don't see any studio do it. But yet again, when you see movies like Bumblebee getting a sequel, I personally feel that there is no excuses on a sequel to Alita or an animated series. Personally, I would rather have an animated series because we would cover the entire manga and the sequels and the prequel of Alita. But yet again, that's just me. I just don't know. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I've done my whole opinion. Now it's up to you guys. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm a fucking moron and just delusional on this whole thing and should just be taking a chill pill? Because, Alita sequel is going to get done no matter what, and we'll see how things go. And if you really feel that way, I hope you're right. And I hope it's not a disappointment. Because if it is, that might be the last straw. And I mean the last straw that I will ever support James Cameron. It's bad enough he ruined Terminator. And I will never let that go. Anyway, we'll see how things go. I'm done. I really am a big fan of Alita, and I want to see her, done justice. And I want to see the character done well. And, the politics on movie making, is bullshit, in my opinion. I personally think if we are passionate about a movie, we should make it. But yet again, studios are resistant and have their own bullshit agenda. And that is something that I cannot stand about movie making now. I will say this. I would rather be comfortable with an animated series than a sequel that could be a straight out disappointment and could divide the fans.